defense in the fourth quarter, you hold them to 14 points. What did you feel out there in terms of the connectedness that you guys had to be able to make that happen?
I think part of it was just having an understanding that, the Wolves are a really good defensive team, especially in the half court. So when the game slows down, we can't just rely on one side of the floor. Obviously, we were down at one point, and we were able to get the offense going enough to get us back in the game, but we weren't going to win the game if we didn't get stops, and we knew that. So we really came together and as a collective unit, put together a lot of winning plays down the stretch.
You guys are down 11 in the fourth and down for a good portion of that second half, too. You have probably an interesting perspective on this because you guys now, over the last two seasons, have the most double-digit comeback wins in the NBA. What level of faith do you kind of feel among the group during these games, the long 48-minute games, that you're going to be able to figure it out?
I mean, not just in those situations, but all situations at all times. We have a lot of faith in each other. We all put the work in together and see each other put it in the work. So, there's a lot of belief in everybody on what they can do, and Coach puts us in great positions too to go out there and be successful. So, obviously there's going to be runs in the game, but we know that if we just keep doing us, and play the Thunder style of basketball, that we're going to make good plays and make runs go in our favor at the end of the day. And it's not going to work out every single night, but over the course of seasons and stretches or whatever, I think it's going to go in our favor.
Chet, when you think about the ability to win a game against the league's best defense while shooting 39% from the floor, just what do you think that says about this team and the way you guys are playing with?
I think it really says that. I think it really shows how much we put into winning, like how much we want to win. You could say, we didn't shoot it well tonight, so let's just try again next game. But that's not the type of guys that we have. It's not the type of team that we are. So, we're going to find different ways to win basketball games, and whether it's on the offensive end or the defensive end, we're going to try and do it both ways every night. But one side might not go our way like it did the other night, but we know we're gonna do what we have to do to try and win the game. I got a little loop-de-doop on that answer.
By now, I'm curious because by now we got a good sample size of it. A lot of players will do the whole thing like they want to replay, they want to challenge. Like a lot of players will get it on every play. You don't.
Man, it'd be killing me because there'd be guys who will really argue calls, and then you'll look up at the monitor and it'll be a super clear, like they'll be like, I didn't foul him, and it'll be super clear foul. And it's like we watch film, we do our homework. The refs, this is their job. Like, I'm sure they watch film and do their homework too. And it's like, if you do that, they're gonna know every time you stand up and you're just waving your fingers around, like challenge it, like, and arguing with them, they know you're just bullshitting them. Pardon my language, but. So, like, when I stand up, I might be wrong sometimes, but if I stand up and I'm telling coach to challenge it, especially because challenges are so valuable, I really, truly believe that it's not a foul or the play's going our way, you know what I mean? And I might be wrong on some of them, but I'm not going to get up there and, like, try to fake it so I can, like, get an edge on the ref for one play, you know what I mean? Because, like, in the long run, like, it's not going to work out in your favor. So, I've seen it a few times here and there this season already.
I didn't have to ask the question. So now I ask, it feels like Mark, because you're more decisive when you do that, it feels like Mark knows, like, if you're doing that, like, he has to challenge. Have you guys talked about that at all, and just knowing?
I mean, when I first got here, he's like, he doesn't want to be, like, conservative with his challenges because you can't carry him over to the next game. So he wants to make sure he uses them, but he also wants to put faith in us, and it's like, if you're telling me to challenge and you're wrong every time, I'm not going to challenge it. So it's like, that's also why if I stand up and I'm telling him to challenge, like, I truly believe that. And I think I've only gotten one wrong this whole year, so probably like 90% on those. So
You remember?
Yeah, it was, I think 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 it was the one I got wrong. It was a foul on Dennis Smith Jr. against the Nets. Yeah. I thought I got all ball, but I got his arm too. So.
Chet, as you just reflect over this road trip, it's been a long road trip, but you played 4 very high-level opponents who all gave you guys their best shot. Just looking back and knowing that, how much can you guys kind of take away and learn from this trip overall?
Can you say that question one more time, please?
Yeah, you guys have played 4 very high-level teams on this trip. They've all thrown their best punch at you guys each night. What can you guys take away and learn from this trip overall?
I mean, there's a lot of lessons that we can learn on the court in terms of X's and O's, and the coaches are going to make sure we cover those in film and everything. But I think as a team, we got a great understanding that none of these games are promised, and our hard work is starting to show. Teams have a little extra juice coming into the games against us. They're ready to play. They want to win, and they always want to win, but they're understanding the effort that it's going to take to win against us, and we have to have that same mentality every single night, knowing that teams are juiced up to play us. We can't come out expecting to win any game. We have to make wins happen, and I feel like this road trip has been a great example of that. We've played really good teams, and unfortunately, we lost 2 tough games and we won 2 tough games. So we just got to keep rolling those lessons forward and doing what we need to do to keep winning games.
Chet, after your first game here this season, Rudy told me that he was really impressed by how the way that you just kept coming at him, even when maybe you didn't have the best night, when it wasn't going your way, but he just said that this guy just kept coming at me. Mark also said that he's impressed by the way that you kind of your resilience and keep going at it. Can you just describe what your mentality is out there, whether it's going your way or not, and never backing down against anyone?
It's just having a good relationship with adversity, I guess. My whole life hasn't been like a cakewalk or easy, so like I've found a good understanding with how to handle adversity mentally, and then also understanding like if something's not going your way, just stopping and shutting down isn't going to turn things around. So not every night it's going to go your way the whole time. And even when you just keep going at it, keep hammering, it's not always going to turn around that night. But, if you stay at it and keep working hard enough, eventually things will turn in your favor. And, that's kind of the mindset I have. I've seen adversity this year. I've seen adversity before this year. So doesn't matter if I play 15 years. In season 15, I'm going to see adversity. So just got to kind of keep going through it. Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Appreciate it.
Your defense in the fourth quarter really limited them when you needed it the most, and the offense wasn't there throughout the night. But what went into that defense there late in that stretch?
Yeah, we wanted to make them play in the crowd, especially their main guys. Obviously, their main guys are really dynamic, and you try to send multiple bodies at them and not let them play in space. And I think we did that to perfection in the fourth.
Just reflecting over this road trip, this is the 4th straight, just high-level opponent that you guys have played against. They gave you a really strong punch throughout the night. What kind of lessons, what can you guys take away as you just kind of look over this road trip as a whole?
Yeah, for myself, every possession, every couple minutes, every end the quarter, start the quarter, it really matters, especially when you're playing against a high-level team. I think I don't know if it's let my foot off the gas, but I didn't end the first quarter the way I wanted to. We had a big lead, and I might have got a little bit lackadaisical. And I think we were up 15, and they cut it to like 6 to end the first. That almost came back to bite us. So just taking every possession like it's your last, and knowing how much each possession matters in close games against really good teams.
Shai, obviously, this team has been on efficiency. You've been one of the more efficient teams in the league, and you shoot 39% today and beat the league's best defense. I just wonder what you think today says about this team.
Yeah, we hang our hat defensively. When we're at our best is when we're on a string with all 5 defensively, communicating, making multiple efforts, and locked in on the game plan. We every night we focus on defense before offense, and when we do so, we give ourselves a chance against anybody.
And throughout this road trip, like especially early in the week, look at some of your numbers, like 19 or whatever. I think, especially against the Lakers, like people have questioned. Some people have questioned your efficiency this week, specifically, especially compared to the kind of season you had. I just wonder how you frame this week relative to the season and just this month, and in tonight's fourth quarter, you go 4 for 6. I just wonder what it is that allows you to get back to that version of yourself.
I know success is a roller coaster. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows 24/7. You're going to have ups and downs. I prepare for nights where I'm not making shots like I usually do, and I prepare for bad nights. They're going to happen. Nobody has a perfect season. Nobody plays their best every night. Everyone has bad games. I've had 7 points in a game this year. Like I know to get to where I want to be as a player, there's going to be ups and downs and learning experiences. And at the end of the night, whether it's a good night, bad night, I just try to learn from it.
Right, and I haven't been around long, so I don't know what this trend is about. But when you guys do the post game, it's like 2 or 3 or 4 of you on the court doing that interview. What's that about?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt the kids behind me making noise. They can never behave. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take it up with them.
You guys now have the most double-digit comeback wins over the last 2 seasons in the NBA. Mark was kind of saying that the 48-minute mentality that you guys began a long, long time ago has helped lead to that. Do you feel any of that now when you guys are in these situations, some of the foundational stuff that you tried to lay early on about what you wanted this team to be about?
Yeah, coach was really good with that. Like early in our, I guess, rebuild and development, he was always like a stickler on certain things, and certain things always mattered more than others. No matter who was on the court, no matter what our record was, no matter who we were playing, those things always mattered, no matter what the score was, right? And it's built a habit for us, and it's like our core and our identity. And yeah, I guess that's hats off to him. He's been really good with that throughout, good, bad, and ugly. Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Shai, we saw you guys at Chet's thing last night for his retirement ceremony. Just wonder if you could describe the chemistry that you guys have built together, because it seems like maybe that is serving you well in games like this. You're down double digits in the fourth quarter and you stay together and you come through. Just how would you describe your connectedness and doing things like that for each other?
Yeah, we all care and love each other, and we want the best for the guy beside us in the locker room. And I think when you can feel that and you know that about the guys around you, when you step on the court, it's easier to play hard for them. It's easy to know that, like, if they get on you, they have your best interests. It's easy for them to hold you accountable. It's easy for you to hold them accountable. And then you get the best out of each other. So I think, yeah, that for sure trickles to our on the court, and is part of the reason why we've had success.
And just last night was really cold. Like, did you ever think, nah, I'm not going to go tonight. I'm going to skip this.
Oh, no shot.
Yeah.
I'm from Canada, no shot.
Yeah.
So Shai, I cover the Timberwolves. I'm doing a big story on Nikhil, and I wanted to ask you a question or two about him. And he said last year when he got traded here, he was terrified because he didn't know where he was at in his career, and he kind of developed this habit of reading a lot last year. And I want to ask you kind of how did he handle last season, and just how do you feel as his cousin that he's kind of made it to the other side of what was a difficult year for him?
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard. It's hard for me because I haven't had to go through what he's had to go through in that aspect. I think he's had like 5 coaches in 4 years. He's been on like 4 teams in 4 years. And not having, I guess, that security when you sleep at night would be very hard, very stressful for sure. But he's done an amazing job of just like sticking with it and trusting his work. And I always tell him, like, as long as you put the work in and be ready for the opportunity, you'll be all right. And I think we saw that when he came here last year. he was thrown in the fire and he was ready, and played big minutes, and then got an extension this summer. So yeah, hats off to him for sticking with it and be super tough mentally.
Does he share book ideas or anything with you, or what do you think of his habit of kind of reading all the time anymore?
Yeah, no, we don't talk about books. We talk about hoops and family. But yeah, that's something that, reading it helps you. It's cool. By reading, you're always learning and finding new things out. So that's why.
Take us through your step back three there at the game on the line.
I had made a few shots. I finally felt like I was in a rhythm tonight offensively that last quarter. And then I was in the mid-range into the rack for the most of the fourth, I think for all the fourth. And then I just felt McDaniel sagging off. And I was in rhythm, comfortable. It's a shot I've shot many times, so I just felt it, tried not to overthink it, and shot the ball with confidence.
Shai, before the game, Mark was kind of asked the same thing about you guys pulling up to Chet's game last night, and then just talking about the team. He said there's a vibe to the team. Just and talking about the cohesion. Just I wonder what word you use to describe that vibe, or how do you describe that vibe?
Goofy. Yeah. Goofy and young. I would say like a lot of the times we're like light in situations. We have fun. We're never like I've never like come in the building and the mood's been off. Like as a group, we're always like joking, having fun. So I say yeah.
Jalen, tell me about the defense in the fourth quarter to be able to hold those guys to just 14 points.
I want to say we didn't foul, but we might have fouled. So I just thought we did a good job being physical. Thought we really ramped it up, especially in that fourth. Just kind of relied on stops because we didn't shoot the ball well. So I think in that aspect, we're maturing, understanding what it takes to kind of gut out and win games, and we did a good job there.
The faith that you guys had tonight, it just seemed like nothing was going in, shots weren't falling, you're down 11, I think, in the fourth quarter. What's the feeling like out there in terms of just the understanding of the length of the game and the faith that you're gonna find that window to crack?
Yeah. When shots aren't going in, it is frustrating. Obviously you want to make every shot. So, but we also understand it's basketball. You're going to have games where you don't shoot well, and it's the NBA. You're playing 82, so there's gonna be a good amount of games where you don't shoot well. So, got to find other ways to win. And basketball is so much more than shooting and scoring in that regard. So the fact that we were able to understand that and just kind of lock in defensively was big for us. We got some big stops. Lou was playing tremendous defense and kind of Chet at the rim. I thought we did a really good job with our coverages and what we wanted to get done. Yeah.
Beating the league's best defense while shooting 39% is something in itself. But I just wonder, considering the punches you've taken from other teams, the other good teams this week, and just how heavy this month is, just how much does this win mean relative to the season and relative to this hefty month?
It's a big win. I think just in general for like kind of the way we started this road trip, kind of to break even is big for us. And I think also just, obviously they're number one in the West, so anytime we can kind of get that really high playoff kind of atmosphere early, especially in this month, is big for us just as far as development. We're able to kind of figure out, when adversity hits against one of the best teams in the NBA, what we're kind of made of. So it's good that we got that challenge tonight. Obviously, even better that we came away with the win. So, it's huge for us. Big learning moments. Obviously, a close game. Learning how to win when shots aren't falling. So there's a lot of good that comes out of playing teams like that.
And you mentioned your exact word where you got to see what you were made of. I just wonder if you could describe what you think by now this team is made of.
A lot of grit and very competitive group. Very together. And I feel like, as Thunder-esque as that term is, we're a really close group. So I think games like this, win or lose, bring us really close together. And we kind of lean on each other during these road trips and games in general when it's close to kind of have each other's backs, and we've been doing a really good job of that.
And Shai didn't seem to have an answer for how this started, but the group post-game interviews have become a thing. I just wonder how you think those things have started.
I don't know. We're random. It's just like it kind of just happens. Nick, you've been a part of a lot of random ones. Yeah, it just. I don't know. Whenever we have a win that everybody's excited, we usually do something funny. I don't know. We just be out there joking around, and that's just kind of our team. Like, it really has nothing to do with the fact that it's like a interview.
I wanted to see if you could just kind of reflect over this road trip, because it's 4 very high-level opponents, very different games, but they've all given you guys their best punch. And Coach said, you guys are going to be a better team after this road trip, just because of all the, you guys have gone through. What can you guys as a group just kind of take away from this trip overall?
Learning how to win on the road is big. There's a lot more adversity on the road just because you're away from home and a lot of stuff like that. So learning how to win on the road has been big for us. No matter the circumstance, you look back at our Atlanta-Brooklyn game, like just the flight stuff with that, learning how to compete and fight back in those games. And then, obviously going to LA, you get 2 bigger teams. So we're kind of getting to see everybody's best look and an array of different, actions and how teams line up against us. So it's good that we're getting such a variety on this road trip. So we're just learning how to kind of compete with that and understand what we like to do to combat that. And, we're learning together. So it's been good. This has been a really good road trip for us.
And just what about for you personally? Mark mentioned this before the game, just the array of matchups that you've had. Karl-Anthony Towns, Markkanen, you had Kawhi Leonard and LeBron just over this trip alone. For you personally, defensively, what was this trip like for you?
A lot of ice tubs. But yeah, I love competing, so those matchups are exciting. Not everybody gets to guard players like that, so I kind of take that as a challenge and also a blessing that the team trusts me to go out there and play defense on those guys. And I think another big piece is obviously Lou. A lot of his, because he's been doing it for so long, his matchups always fly under the radar. But when I have Kawhi, he has James Harden, or so a lot of games are like that. So it's good that I have a good core behind me defensively, so I have a lot of confidence guarding those guys and trying to make it tough for them. But at the end of the day, it makes me better when I'm going up against them.
Jalen, we saw all you guys at Chet's thing last night. And just wondering, kind of, you talked about it a little bit, but just what it means for this team to be together and have that kind of chemistry. Can you describe what the vibe and the dynamic is like, just with all you guys willing to do that on an off night and go and be there for your team?
Yeah, well, first, we know how important it is to Chet, and like jersey retirements, and he's like 21, so that speaks to his character and how he performed at the high school. So we all know it's a big deal. We also know that he would do the exact same thing. He was at K Rich's, so we're just a close group. We all love each other, so anything we can do to support each other or kind of be there, everybody knows that we have each other's back, and that's one through however many people are on the team exactly. But we all enjoy being around each other, and we make the most of a lot of those opportunities that we even have together, whether it's being stuck on the plane or obviously going to his retirement. So we make the most out of those opportunities with each other.
How much do you think that plays a factor in your success this season overall? And then in games like tonight, you're down 11 in the fourth quarter, you're sticking together and finding a way.
It plays a huge part. I think when you have the close-knit kind of chemistry that we have as a team, it has no choice but to kind of jump onto the court with us, and we do a good job of constantly accepting that role with each other. I think the best teams are some of the closest teams. When you can go out there with 5 guys that you can trust, and whether we sub or not, whoever's coming in, we can trust him as well. I think that goes a long way with how we're kind of able to withstand runs or kind of just play together.
And Mark was asked about the same thing, just you guys pulling up to Chet's game yesterday and talking about the cohesion of this team. He just said there's a vibe this team has. How would you describe that vibe?
I know what you said.
I will. What's the question?
When Mark was asked pregame about just the team pulling up to your jersey retirement last night, just talking about the team's cohesion, he said there's a vibe to this team. Just how would you guys describe the vibe of this team?
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe. I don't know, like close knit. Yeah.
Everybody wants to see each other win,
Yeah.
and
It's a
when you
good
do that-
vibe.
yeah, when you do that together, then good things happen.
I know for you guys, this is your first team in the NBA, but from what you've gathered from being around the league, does it feel like the vibe of this team is unusual relative to other pro teams?
I mean, I don't mean to take his time.
No, go ahead.
The whole everything about the Thunder is different from everything I've heard about other places in this league, from management to the rest of the staff all the way down to the players. Everything just operates different.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I feel like we also know there's something special because we're the youngest team in the NBA, so, to have everybody around the same age, I think helps with our vibe. So if you want to say young, we have a very young vibe. But yeah, I think that just brings us closer together. So it is definitely probably a different dynamic, and I don't want to speak for other teams, but I think every team probably thinks their team is special in some way. But yeah, I think just us all being the same age probably brings us a little closer than most teams.
OKC Thunder, Lou, it's not easy to hold a team to 14 points in the fourth quarter. What did it take down the stretch of this one, and what did you all do well in that defensive shell to get the job done?
We just had to do it together. Communicate the whole time on defense. Limit them to one shots. I feel like we did good, just getting rebounds and then securing the rebound and stuff like that. But yeah, we just had to do it together. You just took communication, listening to coverage and stuff like that, and that's why that happened.
Shai had been attacking all night, and then, final minute there, he goes with the step back three. From your perspective, you've seen him in so many of these situations.
Yeah.
What's happening there that's telling him this is the shot to go to?
Need a bucket. We need to score. I think that's it. He's been in this position so many times now, and I'm not surprised when he takes those type of shots. He's so much confident, and he knows he can make those shots for the team. So we all have trust in him to take those type of shots for us, and he knocked it down.
That final sequence was probably among the stranger ones this year. Just
yeah, right.
the foul and misses the 3 free throws. What was your perspective there?
I mean, it was a bad play on my end. Just knowing that he's gonna shoot a tough 3-point to tie the game. At that point, I just got there was somebody in front of him, whatever, just trying to contest without touching him. I was just so intense. I was so in the game, and I was trying to secure this win so bad. But it's my mistake. But he missed the free throws, and we end up with the win. So that's all I care about now.
We talk about Minnesota as the best defense in the league. The numbers obviously back that, but it's different when you get in front of them, right? I just wonder what's so difficult about them and what it took to win this game despite shooting 39% from the field.
I want to say that their size, they have pretty good bigs, protecting the rim. So it's a big advantage for them. But I mean, we just want to come out here and compete. We don't really listen to all that. We just locked in on the scouting report and all that, and we're coming out here to just play hard.
Lou, I know you missed the last game, but as you reflect back over this 4-game road trip and just the high-level opponents that you guys had to go up against and really execute against, how much can you guys as a group take away from this trip overall?
I mean, that we can really compete against anybody. I mean, we went on the road in some tough places to play. I know we lost 2, we won 2, but still, we were in the game, and it was all, close game. So we can compete against a lot of teams. So it just gives us confidence, especially coming out here. And I think they're number 1 in the West right now. So coming out here and just competing and getting a win on the road is huge.
We saw all of you guys pretty much at Chet's thing last night. And just wondering if you could kind of describe the chemistry that you guys have as a team and that connectedness that you seem to have, and how much is that spurring the success you're having on the court?
Yeah, we just great teammates. We wanted to support him. I mean, it's huge, all the stuff that he did for his school and all the awards that he got. So it was great for us to just show up, to have his back on for him to have his jersey returned to high school. So it was huge, and it was just a good time to all spend together. It was fun. We was joking around, messing around. So it was a good time.
Do you think some of that chemistry that you guys have together, that connection, really helps you in games like this? You're down 9 with 7 minutes to go, and you stay together and just kind of or find a way together to grind it out.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, like, I made a tough foul at the end, and my teammates still have my back. Whatever, it's just effort. Let's see if he's gonna make the free throws or whatever. So it's just the chemistry we really have. Is we can't be mad with each other. We just having fun all the time when we on the court. So it definitely helps.
Lou, in talking about, because Mark was asked about just last night, and you guys pulling up to Chet's thing, he mentioned his team has a vibe that allows for things like that to just be, effortless. How would you describe his team's vibe?
It's hard to describe a vibe, man. It's a vibe, you know what I mean? So, but I don't know. We just have a lot of fun. We joke around a lot. We always got something to talk about, to joke around about. So it's hard to explain. You just got to be with us, honestly.
I just wanted to ask you about just guarding Anthony Edwards throughout the night. He wasn't his most efficient self today, and Coach gave you obviously a lot of credit for that. You've defended a lot of players in your career. What goes into defending and kind of limiting a guy like Anthony Edwards throughout a night?
Yeah, he's a tough one. He's a tough one, and he got better. He's a tough shot maker. My main thing was just to make everything tough. He's pretty good. So that wasn't just me. It was the same time the help behind me. So, I was just locked into the scouting report, and I just watched a lot of film. So, but it was still a tough game. He still did his thing, but it's not just credit to me; it's to the whole team.
Is it an extra preparation knowing that guys like Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns are going to be setting screens for him throughout the night? It's something that you have to mentally prepare for?
Yeah. Mentally prepared for it, yeah, definitely. Just knowing that they set good screens and they're so big. So, but I still got to get through the game, go through it, and fight through the screen and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I had to prepare for it.
Questions for Coach?
Nick OKC Thunder. Mark, your defense held them to just 14 points in the fourth quarter. What did you like about the way that your shell kind of all worked together in that last quarter?
Yeah, I thought we just had great, resilience tonight. It's one thing, to defend like that, but it's another when you're shooting the ball so poorly. We had a really hard time cracking them. They played great defense in the second half. And I thought even the group to start the fourth, we just had a really hard time scoring, but we were able to string together stops, and it kind of kept the lead at whatever it was, 8 or 9. And then we loosened them up a little bit midway through the quarter. We outscored them 23-9, I think, down the stretch. But I just thought our ability to defend, despite an imperfect night, showed great mental toughness by our team.
This is the 25th time in the last 2 seasons, so season and a half really, you guys have come back from a double-digit deficit and won. Is there a muscle that you guys over the course of time here have been able to build up to have that type of patience and resilience and faith that you're talking about?
Yeah, we just want to be a 48-minute team, and we want to play through the finish line regardless of circumstance. I thought a couple of years ago when we lost a lot of games by a lot of points, I thought we did a great job of playing all 48 minutes, and it kind of set a tone for the type of team we wanted to be. And now we're carrying that forward, and showing great, like I said, mental toughness to just run through the finish line on a game that was really, really tough. They put a ton of pressure on us tonight, obviously.
Mark, you don't force, I think you forced 1 turnover in the third versus, like 6 and 7. They slow the game down to make it like an especially nasty half-court game. You forced, I think, 7 in the fourth. What do you see you guys get back to in that fourth quarter to kind of change the aspect of it?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously got off to a great start, both ends, and then we were like in mud in the middle of the first half. You know, we started and finished the half pretty well. Third quarter was similar. You know, they tightened things up on you, and it got hard for us. You know, they really force you into tough shots, and they're a great defense. So, you know, I thought the turnovers were just defense. You know, our activity. It's never a goal of ours, you know, turn people over. It's a goal of ours to make teams uncomfortable, and I think that might yield turnovers at times. But fourth quarter, we were on it. We were really active, but the game was tough. You know, we really had to stay in it the whole time.
Yeah, I guess like, you call that finish like relatively strange between the loose foul and missing those 3 free throws. Just what was your point of view during that final sequence?
Yeah, I mean, we were going to foul up 3, and they advanced it with a pass. You know, you hope to make them catch it in the backcourt. It's a good lesson for us. You hope to make them catch it in the backcourt so you can give it while they're dribbling. You know, and they advanced it, and it was kind of a weird play. I just didn't think we calibrated it, and then we fouled them. Obviously, not good execution by us, great execution by them. And then, you know, he missed the first one, and at that point it became about the rebound. And you know, I just thought we hung in there. You know, we weren't perfect. We missed some free throws down the stretch. We shot 39% from the floor, but I thought for the most part, you know, we just had great resilience, like I said, at the end of a long road trip.
And we've talked like earlier in the road trip just about Shai's efficiency and maybe people questioning, you know, whether this week was to the standard he's played all season, and then in the fourth quarter tonight he goes 4 for 6, has 11 points. I just wonder what you saw from him late and just the kind of that version that he can get back to of himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a great player. You know, there's 82 games. You know, we're in the middle of this is a month, you know, in terms of travel, opponents, the tightness of the games, you know, 5 and 7. We have 2 5 and 7s. We have multiple back-to-backs. It's a lot of different cities. No one's feeling great. And no one's feeling great in the NBA. You know, this isn't unique to us, like I've said before the game. But I just thought we just showed great toughness tonight. You know, we just kind of, it was mind over matter. Him included, but it was really everybody, and it really was just defense, rebounding. The rebounding was outstanding against obviously a huge team, so great win for us.
This is the fourth straight opponent, just a high-level opponent, really intense game. Just with this road trip in particular, what can you guys kind of take away and learn from these 4 different games here?
Yeah, we're going to be a better team because of these games, you know, including the losses. You know, the Lakers loss was a game where I thought we were a little off track, and they did a really good job planning for us. The Clippers loss was a game that they controlled the whole time. We were able to stay in it, but we saw, you know, a real scheme in that game. The Utah, you know, obviously they were white hot coming into the game, and then tonight, you know, they speak for themselves with the season they're having. So those are great barometer games. You find out kind of what you're made of. They don't always feel good. You know, it feels great when you're like zipping it around and scoring 130 points, but you know, you have to be able to execute, you know, in games like this. And I thought, you know, they brought the best out of us tonight. And, you know, we have to learn the lessons from all these games and continue to plow forward here. We got a lot of season left.
John?
Marcus, is there something that you see from your group when they are down, especially in the fourth quarter, in terms of what brings about that resilience, I guess, or the mindset, the mentality to not let go of the rope, to not, you know, and to really kind of dig in like the way they seem to do?
Yeah, their affect is always kind of the same, you know, up, down. You know, they're very even, you know, from a temperament standpoint, which I think suits the NBA well. There's a lot of ups and downs in a game. There's a lot of ups and downs in a season. And then the other thing, it goes back to what you asked before the game, you know, in terms of the connection of the team. You know, we win together, we lose together, we struggle together, we come together in adversity. I mean, they just do everything together, and that's a beautiful thing, including when it's struggle and, you know, when we're knocked down. I mean, it's not a perfect season, and there's a lot of adversity, but they endure that stuff together. And, you know, the answer to your question is the togetherness of the team, you know, and they kind of stay in character on that, you know, pretty consistently.
And what was the key to limiting Edwards' opportunities? I mean, he only had 10 shots. I think he was stuck in single digits for most of the game. What worked well to just at least keep him from going off? Yeah,
team effort. It's always a 5-man defense for us, you know, systematically, and also it's always got to be a 5-man defense against a player of his caliber. We have great respect for his talent and what he's capable of. So it's that, and then it's Dort. You know, Dort's something else, man. You know, he's an irritant. You know, I don't think people like playing against him. And you know, similar to what I was saying before the game on Chet, you know, he's going to take punches. He's boxing against the heavyweights of the NBA every night, but he just eats them. You know, he eats the punches and he keeps coming, and it's impressive to watch night after night. You know, and I thought, you know, he was into the game tonight for sure.